Okay, people, so new developments has arisen with the situation between Mr. Selwyn Melville and the TTFA with the usage of the nickname Soca Warriors. I don't know why it is we're still discussing this here when it is we have so much bigger fish to fry, i.e. having more players in our player pool to pick from, i.e. just trying to get the supporters out to be the 12th man with the upcoming World Cup qualifiers that the Trinidad and Tobago team are blessed to be a part of with the chance to get to the 2026 World Cup. But we're still here discussing branding, and in reality, branding is very important when it comes to sports, because in reality, again, everybody trying to make money. All the organizations, the associations, they had to make the money in order for everything to run smooth. So it is important somewhat. But I have the article here with the whole discussion, with all the proposals them and all the salient people them that have to be discussed. So before I get into that, good morning to all the Trinidad and Tobago football fans and the Trinidad and Tobago citizens on the whole who just want more insight on the whole situation. So getting into the CNC3 article, shout out to CNC3. So the salient people them in this whole situation are the TTFA, of course, Mr. Selwyn Melville, and Mr. David Naked, the former Trinidad and Tobago footballer who is now the secretary in the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs. So, Mr. David Naked is the arbiter. For those who don't know what the arbiter is basically the person who wants to resolve the dispute. So, the TTFA got the proposal from Mr. Selwyn Melville, and he proposed that the TTFA pay him $3 million per year for 5 years. So basically, he'll be getting $15 million for partial, I should say, just by leasing out the name Soca Warriors, because I want to believe after the 5 years, he could then renegotiate once again and even get a bigger deal if even. But in reality, I had to discuss this with Trinidad and Tobago people in particular. I know we're not accustomed to like intellectual property, but in reality, around that range it'll be for most trademarks when it comes to sports in particular too. I think Chivas in the MLS, Chivas USA, they had to be paying at least for the name Chivas from the Chivas Guadalajara team. So I think they'll pay like about $300,000 every year for that name, just for having the Chivas name. So in reality, it's not uncommon for Mr. Selwyn Melville to be asking for somewhat that kind of money. In my opinion, I think $15 million a bit too hot. But get to that now, the TTFA offered Mr. Melville 1.5 and 2 million for the name. In my opinion, that good. I think that good. I think that is a good price. But Mr. Melville thinks otherwise. Mr. Melville, and I quote, described it as ridiculous. In my opinion, there is something called supply and demand. Everybody knows that in business. I don't think the name Soca Warriors is like a $15 million name. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're just being real, the TTFA, we don't have that kind of pull as opposed to, like, you know how we in Trinidad and Tobago, whenever the World Cup comes around, we gonna say, yeah, we're back in Brazil, we're back in Argentina, we're back in Les Blues with the French team. We ain't got that kind of pull there. So to pull out that proposal like $15 million, you know, I think that kind of hot in my opinion. But I am vexed with Mr. Selwyn Melville. A lot of people gonna be saying, oh, well, he unpatriotic and, you know, he greedy. But in reality, intellectual property is a thing. It is something that we had to get accustomed to, especially within this social media era. And I think if anybody else had the chance to pretty much I want to treat the word right wisely. I don't want to say hold the TTFA at ransom, but, you know, have generational wealth coming in every time. What should I say, like a side money. You know, they will take it. And the Soca Warriors name seems to be something that is very important for the TTFA, and rightly so, as David Naked himself saying that the name has been used for 20 years. Like, we went to the World Cup with it. Maximus Dan, now MX Prime, released the song Fighter, which is I am a Soca Warrior. He bring out all that, and the name grew, even though it was off the backs of the national or the people them of the nation, but he still come up with a name. However, stick up in that, because we'll come back to that because this thing that's getting even more crazier. But yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a ludicrous deal for them to be offering millions for just a name, because it's actually common. But I think 50 million a bit too hot. But again, I ain't vexed with Mr. Melville. But you want to know what's crazy? With all the talks of Mr. Selwyn Melville being the owner of the Soca Warriors name, there's someone by the name of Mr. Steve Dipnerine, according to this article here from CNC3. They are saying that Mr. Steve Dipnerine, a former marketing manager of the Trinidad and Tobago Broadcasting Company, the TBC, he also claims that he's the originator of the Soca Warriors name as well. So who really own it? Listen, you want to know what gonna be absolutely crazy? If it is this man chooses to take legal action against Mr. Selwyn Melville now, and Mr. Selwyn Melville even lose the name now, Trinity's go crazy with that one. I tell you, Trinity's will go crazy over that one day. That one day, sir. Because they gonna be like, in reality, again, it was offered all this money here, and then no, Mr. Steve Dipnerine come and take the name. That gonna be, hey. But anyways, man. But I think, in my opinion, I think we could do a lot more with 50 million as opposed to just getting a name. I think 50 million gets you a proper coaching staff that could have, development from youth come straight up. We could actually have like youth pro league teams now, where it is we could have like academies, so we bring down foreign coaches so we could teach the game of football. I think 50 million gets you all of that as opposed to just having a name. That is me, and shout out to Sportsmax. Basically, they're not being, they stopped Sportsmax not being used again. Losing Sportsmax could be something very, it hurts a lot of people, especially within the SSFL, where we was being able to see we little nephews and we little cousins them playing in the SSFL. That gone because Sportsmax is no longer a thing. So all that 50 million they could go into something where it is we have proper media houses, so the talent that we have in Trinidad and Tobago could be seen within the world. So all that could come into play as opposed to just a regular smuggler name that in reality, if it is we just develop our football, branding will come easily. In my opinion, if it is Trinidad and Tobago start playing amazing football, branding will come. I'm telling you, another name will come and we just forget Soca Warriors. All we wouldn't necessarily forget, but you see the same way how we just push Strike Squad to the side. All we need is a couple marketing. We put Strike Squad to the side and we get the Soca Warriors now. The song even made it and even amplified it more. So if it is we get some soca artists them that come and bring out our next track and we get a new name. All that can happen. I generally don't believe that we should be pursuing this, but it seems as though like they definitely need the Soca Warriors, and rightly so, because limited time as well too. But it is what it is, man. So yeah, that is the whole situation there with the development. So Mr. Melville, he wants 50 million. The TTFA basically want to offer him 1 or 2 million per year for within the 5 years. And David Naked now, he basically saying that he would have to have a meeting lined up on Thursday to resolve this whole interest here, to resolve this whole situation here, because in reality, and rightly so, what he's saying here is that this is not at the best interest for the people them of this country. Like a name, we can't be discussing this now when it is we should be discussing how much people go into the Haiti First Stadium to come and put the pressure on Curacao, Jamaica, and Bermuda. Yeah, that's what we need to be discussing. And of course, getting new players within player pool, proper players who up to the task. We need to be discussing this type of things here. I think this is such a, I don't want to call it a smoke screen, but you're looking smoke screenish. Yeah, we ain't got time for this, boy. We ain't got time for this. But anyway, something that I had to discuss because I cover in Trinidad and Tobago football. I just had to do it, but yeah, I genuinely ain't got time for this, boy. We need to be putting things in place so that we could get to that World Cup 2026. We need it, boy. I would sell a kidney to get to that World Cup, boy, for Trinidad and Tobago, man. Swear down, man. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think about this whole situation here? Yeah, let me know.